Welcome back. We are the Ministry of the Real Truth. Welcome back to part 2 of our video verifying the actual true Sabbaths according to the original ancient language of God, sacred scribal tongue or language of God, Lishon Articus of prayer, of the Tav Asheret, or the original ancient, very old Aramaic, translated into English by a native-born Aramaic-speaking translator from Mesopotamia, Victor N. Alexander, in the nearest English equivalent. So we're looking at the Sabbath to verify to a comment that the Sabbath that he told us about, and from one of his whatever version, modern Americanized English version or translation that he was using, is incorrect. Okay, it goes through all the plagues and all the events in Egypt, etc., etc. Okay, there's some conditions here. It's about the Passover. Okay, for 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. This is for the house of Israel, the Israelites, the Jews. From the first day you shall quit using that leaven in your homes. There is no like baking soda or anything like that, right? That makes the bread rise. Okay, unleavened bread, that's what it means. Okay, because they don't put that leaven in it, basically. Because whoever eats bread that is leavened from your household shall be lost to Israel. Do this from the first day to the 7th day. They do it a whole week, right? It's commemoration of that Passover, where death passed over their houses and went to the Egyptians, right? The first day shall be designed a holy day, and the 7th day shall be designated a holy day. Keep them holy, and no work shall be performed during them except that which a human being needs to prepare for food. That alone is what may be done. So it's basically your Sabbath, your week, your Sabbath, etc. Right? But it states here, the first day shall be designed a holy day, called and sanctified a holy day. Literal Aramaic idiom. And the 7th day shall be designated a holy day. Keep them holy, and no work shall be performed during them, except that which a human being needs to prepare for food. That is alone is what may be done. So you basically have 6 days of work, and then you have this preparation day before the Sabbath began. And you shall celebrate with unleavened bread, because on this day you revealed your powers on the Lord of Egypt. And you shall celebrate this day throughout the centuries, a law to the end of the universe. Okay, that's for the house of Israel, the Jews, etc. This is something that they're tied to. Okay, so for them it doesn't end. It wasn't nailed to the cross when Christ died, all this sort of rubbish, right? In regards to the Jews, okay, it was a commandment. God didn't break that covenant. In the first month, whatever that is, in the Jewish year, on the 14th of the month, you shall eat the unleavened bread, and until the evening, the 21st day of the month. So there's something that they do, right? They're probably these wannabe cults and groups and Christians or whatever, who are trying to imitate, let's say, Judeo Christianity or whatever, might not be doing. For 7 days no leaven shall be found in your homes, because whoever eats anything unleavened, that soul shall be lost to the flock of Israel, whether they are herders or settlers in the land. You shall not eat anything leavened, only that which is unleavened. Okay, that's all about this. What happens on the what happened on the Passover, where they slaughter the Passover ram and brush the blood of the ram upon the entry stone and the beam over the doorpost. From the blood that is in the vessel or container, none of you shall go to the houses, out of the house's door until morning, right? And the Lord shall pass by to strike the Egyptians, and he shall see the blood on the entry stone and on a beam over the doorpost, and the Lord shall pass over those doors, and he shall not allow the destroyer, or death, to enter your homes to destroy. And you shall observe this tradition and this law for you and for your children until the end of the universe. There you go. It's bound. They're bound by it. The Jews are bound by it. And when you enter the land that the Lord shall give you, land of the Canaanites, Hittites, etc., land of milk and honey, as he has said, you shall perform this tradition. So you're still doing it. You're going to still do it. Right? Hence it being practiced as law to the end of the universe. And it will come to pass that when your children ask you what observance is this, the descendants, right? You should tell them, this is the offering of the Passover when the Lord passed the homes of the children of Israel in Egypt, as he struck the Egyptians and passed over our houses, and the nation sat up and worshipped the Lord. And there went the children of Israel and did as the Lord had commanded Moses and Aaron. This is what they did. Okay. And the children of Israel gathered their things and left Ramses, that's a city, not the king, towards Succoth. 600,000 men on foot besides everyone else. Because everyone says, oh, that was the reign of Ramses. No, it's actually wrong. It's the city of Ramses, which was probably destroyed, if we remember rightly, historically, by the Assyrians. They came in and smashed it up. With Hyksos, one of those who came in and smashed everything up, all their idols or whatever, or their temple, whatever, their gods, whatever. And also many who had intermarried with the Egyptians went up with them, and many flocks, oxen, and a great, or the Egyptians that had intermarried with them, and many flocks and oxen and great, blah blah blah. Okay, and when they baked the dough that they brought out of Egypt, it did not rise, and it came out as flat wafers, so it was unleavened, because it was unleavened. As the Egyptians pushed them out and did not let them get out smoothly, so that is all they managed to do, right, to make that right. They're like, get out of here, come on, hurry up, get out of here, you know. But they're kind enough to give them everything that they needed on their way out. And the settlement of the children of Israel in Egypt lasted 430 years. Okay, that's where they were. That's how long they were there for. The law of circumcision, etc., etc. And thus did all the children of Israel as the Lord commanded Moses and Aaron. This is what they observed. And it was on this very day that the Lord liberated, or emancipated, the children of Israel from the land of Egypt in their full force. The whole lot of them, right? All their powers. 1251, literal Aramaic and Aramaic expression, all their powers. Okay. So, they worked 6 days, they had a preparation day, and then that's when they did all the work, whatever they had to do, cooking, cleaning, whatever, on that particular day. As soon as the sun went down, or sunset, yeah, that was the Sabbath, the start of the Sabbath. So, according to these laws, pushed by the Pharisees, Sadducees, whatever, in Jesus' era, you couldn't work on the Sabbath, and they had all these weird ideas. Right. Okay, you can look at Exodus 16, because they're liberated from the Egyptians, Egypt and the Egyptians. The Egyptians tried to chase them, and they're drowned, all this sort of stuff. Miriam, the sister of Aaron. Okay. And Moses took the members of the house of Israel from the sea of Soup, and they went out to the desert of Shoad, and they travelled a 3 days' trek, and they did not find water. And they came to Murat and did not find drinking water because of the bitterness of the soil. That is why that country is called Murat. And the people yelled at Moses and said, what shall we drink? And Moses prayed on his knees before the Lord, and the Lord showed him a type of wood that sweetened the water when it was immersed in it. There God taught Moses the law and the religion, and advised him, saying, if you truly listen to the voice of the Lord God, and do that which is beautiful before him, and heed his commandments, and observe all his covenants, none of the plagues that befell the Egyptians shall befall you, because I am the Lord that will heal you. Let's have a look at 23 to 25. Okay, that's the name in English of Murat, little Aramaic idiom, mirth. 15:25. Aramaic idiomatic construction. God showed him a wood, and he threw it in the waters, into the waters, and the water sweetened. And he prayed on his knees. He threw the wood in the water. The water was sweetened when it was in there, chucked in there. There he taught him the law. God taught Moses the law and the religion. Which is the judgment. Okay, and they went to Elim, and there were 12 water springs and 7 palm trees there, and they camped by the waters. Okay, Exodus 16. And the entire congregation of the household, or gathering of the children of Israel, took up from Elim and came to the desert of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th of the 2nd month. That's possibly a Sabbath. In the season of the exodus of the children of Israel from Egypt. And the entire congregation of the children of Israel complained to Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. And the children of Israel told them, "We're better off had we died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, while sitting over chunks of meat and eating a full of bread, rather than you, who took us out to this desert to destroy the entire gathering or congregation of the children of Israel with hunger." And the Lord said to Moses, "Look, I'll rain down bread from heaven and let the people go out and pluck and eat the food. And they shall receive daily, so as I may test them to see if they are walking according to my law or not." In the New Testament it actually says, don't say that God tests you, but basically that's in the Americanized modern version probably. It means it really means like, don't say that God's making you sin, right? He's testing you, pushing you to make you sin, because he doesn't make you sin, because you're controlled by your own desires, lusts, etc. Okay, so on the 6th day they shall receive what they desire, which is a preparation day, which will be twice what they usually pluck and eat daily. And Moses and Aaron said this message to the children of Israel in the evening: You know that the Lord liberated you from Egypt, and in the morning you shall see the glory of the Lord, because you complained before the Lord, etc., etc. When the Lord gives you meat to eat in the evening and the morning bread to eat your fill, because the Lord has heard the complaints that you complain against him. And as for us, who are we? It is not against us that you are complaining, or you complained, but against God. And Moses said to Aaron, "Tell the entire congregation of the children of Israel, come before the Lord and receive the communion, because the Lord has heard your complaints." And as Aaron was telling the entire congregation of the children of Israel, they turned toward the wilderness, and behold, the glory of the Lord was seen in the clouds. They actually saw him. Yeah? His glory, right? And the Lord said to Moses, "I've heard the complaints of the children of Israel. Tell them that when the sun sets, you will be eating meat, and in the morning you shall be satisfied with bread." That's the 14th, right? "And you shall know that I am the Lord over you. And in the evening there were flash floods, etc., etc. And in the morning there was a layer of dew around the camp. And the layer of dew lifted up, and behold, wow, look, over the surface of the desert there was like a thin layer of ice that flaked off and covered the surface of the earth. And this is the meaning of what the Lord..." Okay, and the children of Israel saw it, and a man said to his brother, "What's this?" Because they did not know what it was. Moses said to them, "This is the bread that the Lord has given you to eat." The Lord has given you to eat. "And this is the meaning of what the Lord commanded you, that every person should pluck and eat according to his or her need, take it and measure according to the number of heads in your household." Okay, so if you've got 5 people, take 5 lots for each person, whatever. And the children of Israel did that, and they plucked and ate, some more and some less. Yeah, some took extra, right? "And they ate of it by measure, and neither did it matter that some ate more, nor that those who ate less lost out. Everyone ate according to their capacity." Okay, so if you're only like a little eater, your family's only little eaters, right? You got a little bit, or maybe someone else beat you. Yeah, they grabbed more than you, but everyone was satisfied, right? Yeah, whatever you could eat. You know, there's a open buffet. You can go back, get some more, gather more on that particular day. Moses said to them, no one shall leave any of it till morning. But they did not listen to Moses, and some of the men saved some till the morning. And it was inundated with worms and went bad, and Moses was angry at them. And so they plucked it morning by morning, and what was left of it the sun melted. And on the sixth day they plucked twice the amount of bread, 2 measures for everyone, and there came all the elders of the congregation and showed it to Moses. Moses said to them, this is what the Lord said, that tomorrow is the Sabbath. Moses said to them, this is what the Lord said, that tomorrow is the Sabbath, a day of rest made holy by the Lord. Bake what you bake, cook whatever you have to cook, and preserve cold whatever is extra till the morning. And they left from it for the morning as Moses had instructed them, and it did not go bad, and there was no worm in it. Moses said to them, eat it on this day also, because the Sabbath is the Lord's day, for on this day you will not find it in the field. Pluck it then for 6 days, and on the 7th day, on the Sabbath, it will not be there. Okay. And on the 7th day some of the people went out to pluck and eat, but they did not find anything. And the Lord said to Moses, until when are you not going to uphold my commandments and laws? Look, the Lord has given you the Sabbath. That is why the Lord gave you on the 6th day 2 days' bread worth, so as everyone may stay put in his home on the Sabbath, right? And not go out the door of his house on the 7th day. And the people rested on the 7th day, because that was a day of rest, wasn't it? Sit back, ponder, God, praise Him, glorify Him for pulling them out of bondage, all that sort of stuff. And the children of Israel called its name manna, and it was like the seed of the willowy herb that has turned white, and its taste was like honey from a honeycomb. And Moses said, this is the teaching that the Lord commands, say full measure of it, for your centuries, so as everyone may see what bread you ate in the wilderness whence I liberated you from Egypt, or freed you from Egypt. So they had the recipe for it, probably. And Moses said to Aaron, take a sharing cup and cast it into a full measure of manna and consecrate it before the Lord to be revered for all the centuries. So this is what the Jews, the Israelites, etc. have to do to the end of the centuries, end of the universe, right? End of time. And Moses tells Aaron, it's consecrated as a treasured testimony to be saved and cherished. And the children of Israel ate manna ate manna 40 years until they came to the land where they were to settle. They ate manna until they came to the water's edge by the land of Canaan. And the full measure of manna was a tenth of what they were destined to receive later. Okay, so here's the footnotes here. 1631, literal Aramaic, manana. Okay, let's have a look here, 1631. Yeah, manna. And for those people out there that say, manna is the same in the Te or Maori language as in the Hebrew, the Aramaic, the Hebrew, etc. Wrong. They're two different things if you go and define it. Your manna, M-A-N-A, is prestige, power. You, by definition, you aren't born with it, you receive it. Okay, and this manna, or manana, is completely different. It's a different bunch of people, right? Maui wasn't Moses, so don't believe all this rubbish, right? Because here are the original scriptures, and it doesn't say Moses the Maori, or Maui the Maori, or whatever. Moses was of the Hebrews, right? The Israelites, a Jew. Yeah? Like one of the original Jews. So, to better explain to this person, we go to a website called The World's Last Chance, right? The breakaway from the Seventh-day Adventist Church, because Miller apparently predicted or prophesied that Jesus Christ would come back in 1872 or something. They all gathered around at night time, waiting, and he never turned up. So they're quite disappointed, these people. They still followed Ellen G. White, they said prophetess, whatever. But this group broke away because they read the scriptures correctly, like we just did, and realised, hey man, somebody's changed the Sabbath. Okay, so here's something about the breach of it. It's going to be repaired or something like that. And they came up with this research about the lunisolar calendar. I'm going to read from here. We're not going to watch this video because it's connected to YouTube and we might get a copyright claim or copyright strike. Probably not from them, but from somebody. Okay, so here we read a comment on it, 2018 I think it was, 2022, from the Breetah of the original ancient very old Aramaic Lishana Artica Sabbath, the sacred scribal language of God, spoken to Adam and Eve and by the men at the Tower of Babel who spoke one language. Translated from the original ancient very old manuscripts copied faithfully by scribes and monks in Ur around 800 BCE by a native-born Aramaic speaking translator from Bet Narain, Mesopotamia, i.e. Victor N. Alexander, Syria, with over 15 years, probably about 20 years experience now, in translating those scriptures. In the nearest English equivalent, without adding his own bias, prejudice, twist or flavour added to it. All originated from the original ancient very old Tav Asherit, sister language of the original ancient very old Tav Ivri, or the original ancient very old Hebrew. We're still trying to find the Tav Hotep or Hotep. That's probably the language that Moses spoke, being of the Pharaoh's court, right? Brought up in his household. The Koine Greek is the nearest akin to these. So if you translated that Koine Greek, the original ancient very old Koine Greek, you'd find that it was very similar to that ancient, original ancient very old Aramaic, the Shana Articus the prayer, language of God. Yeah, sacred scribal language of God. And there's a footnote here from Breetah or Genesis 1:5. And God called the light day, and the darkness night, and the evening and the morning became part of one cycle, the first eon. Here's a footnote, right? 153, literal Aramaic word, euma, eon, immeasurable period, age or day with a capital D. Why? Because it's a very different day. It's all based on the Breetah or Genesis 1:4, where God made the two great suns or the two great lights as lights, the moon and the sun. Okay, and that lunar solar cycle. Okay, in our personal research of the original Exodus, which we've just covered, we found and do agree with your lunar, solar, etc. Was last chance, but not that they were days, but days as in line with your explanation videos of the Creator's calendar and actual Hebrew days. Okay, as we put here, for Yuma, it's an eon, immeasurable period, age or day. Who was there to say that God started on a Sunday at 6 and finished on Monday at 7 or whatever, right? Okay, after a week he stopped, right? Okay, that's what it means in the original language. It's not a literal day as we know a day today. Okay, later on there became those weeks. Okay, that's why I said work 6 days. And he's not pointing, he's not indicating 6 eons or 6 eras or immeasurable periods, right? It's basically days, 6 days, and then there's a preparation day to do all your work, clean your house, whatever, talk your talk, and then when the sun goes down, sunset, that's the beginning of the Sabbath. So don't do any work on the Sabbath. You sit back, all your food's already prepared, and you basically spend your time contemplating on what God had done for you. What God had done for them liberated them from the Egyptians. Being extremely different to our modern understanding of what a Hebrew day actually consisted of. The preparation day, a day before the Sabbath, the Israelites gathered the manna, but were warned not to gather it on the Sabbath day. And the new moons, etc., you explain. We at the Ministry of the Real Truth agree with him. Okay. There's no picture here. We may just see if we can find the lunar calendar thing on here. Okay, blah blah blah. No copyright breach was intended. We just sort of find
understanding new moons and
Calendar, here we go. I'm just going to use this calendar.
On the modern calendar.
Okay, on the modern calendar that everybody uses, they basically say, right, the Sabbaths are here, Saturday. What, Saturday? Okay, so we Seventh-day Adventists gather together in our church and we celebrate the Sabbath on those days. It's actually wrong, according to Scripture. Okay, it should be. This is a new moon. It should be a crescent moon in the sky at night. You should be able to see that on the first, which indicates. Sorry, not crescent moon. A full moon, right? A new moon, which indicates the start of a very brand new month. With these Jews, there was an atonement. They get a unspotted lamb or ram or whatever, they sacrifice it, and then they sprinkle that blood on the heads of the people or over the people of the house of Israel for the forgiveness of their sins. That's what they used to do in that period, right? In that era, in that day. Yeah. So that's not a Sabbath. And you work 6 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 7th is a preparation day. Okay? When the sun sets, it's a sign of the beginning of the Sabbath, which is on the 8th. Okay? Repeat the process. 15th to Sabbath. Repeat the process. 22nd. Repeat the process. The 29th. Okay? Notice here there's 30 days. In the Hebrew calendar, there's only 29. But they had that extra day, just in case you didn't see that full moon on the night of the 29th. You had that extra night, you should see it in the sky. Okay? And then obviously it goes back to the first, which is the celebration of the new moon and the atonement. Okay? So, this is a Roman Catholic based calendar. Okay, the Romans had like 8 days, 9 days, 10 days, something like that. We have a book somewhere. What is it called again? The Timetables of History, the New Third Revised Edition by Bernard Grun, based upon Werner Stein's Culture Far Plan. And it's basically Timetables of History. And it's very, very interesting. So, we think it might be page 3. It has a little note here. Just have a look. Need some goggles so we can see it. Okay, page 3, under the column F, Science, Technology and Growth, it states the Egyptian calendar, regulated by sun and moon, 360 days, 12 months of 30 days each. Okay, so these Hebrews, etc., were probably influenced by that, so they followed suit. Tried to find if there's one of the Mesopotamians, the Hebrews, etc., who started doing it in a certain period. Yeah, so they were probably influenced by the Egyptian calendar, and the Egyptians were probably influenced by their different things from them. Their writing or their language or something like that. Let me just have a look here. The Hyksos drive the Egyptians south and form a kingdom in the Nile Delta, 17th century BC. That's on page 4 under the column History and Politics. Liberation of Egypt from Hyksos, ruled by Ahmosis I, marks beginning of new kingdom, 1575 to 1200 BC, something like that. 18th dynasty brings Egypt to the height of its power and achievements. First mention of Israelites in Egyptian victory hymn. It's this page 4, B, literature, theatre column. Akhenaton, Amenhotep IV of Egypt destroys the old gods and sets up Aton, the sun god, as only god, around 1385 BCE. This monotheistic religion was short-lived. His successor Tutankhamun reinstates the earlier deities, and Moses receives the Ten Commandments on Mount Sinai. Age of the judges elected from 12 Israelite tribes. It's quite a good timetable history book. And it has here, under page 3, under G, daily life, disastrous floods in Mesopotamian region. So we've come to understand that these Mesopotamians had these floods all over, and so was the Egyptians when the Nile flooded over. So it wasn't a global flood at this time. But then you have science saying, well, possibly a meteorite from outer space hit the Earth, caused tidal waves, which caused earthquakes, etc., etc. Or this other place miles away, 10,000 miles away, or whatever the history said. Can't remember the actual name of the island, but they had earthquakes, all that sort of stuff, and then they pumped out this red fungi or something, floated down to Egypt and all that sort of stuff, the Nile and all that sort of stuff, went down towards that way. Yeah, it's all in the histories, apparently, from scientific research. So basically, for that person that we got a comment from, this is your true Sabbath. Okay? On the modern calendar, weeks and months are not based on anything in nature. So your modern translation is incorrect. Sorry, buddy. Okay? Because we're using the original ancient, very old Tav Eshet, the Shana Articus Sabra of the Tav Eshet, okay, which was hand copied by monks, scribes and monks in Urhai, Edessa, now modern Turkey, around 800 BCE, from that original language. And then the manuscripts, the Galilean Aramaic manuscripts, were hidden and preserved in the original Apostolic Church of the East, founded by Addai or Thomas, with the help of Bartholomew and Peter, and hidden and preserved, hidden from Emperor Constantine, so around about the 1st century AD. So these are original manuscripts. They haven't been messed with. They're intact, as 3 people have testified to. One, a patriarchate of the Apostolic Church, head of the church in 1957, assassinated in 1975. He said they were intact from the day they were received from the blessed hands of the disciples, Addai or Thomas. And they had no reason to interpret it, translate it into another language, mess with it, etc., etc. It was exclusively for those high priests of that particular church and the people in their church, because they knew and spoke that language natively. Here's all these videos from World's Last Chance. Okay, they did have a plan for everybody to do the Sabbath, the true Sabbath, but if you're in a job, you have to try and convince your job, you're contracted to, I need these days off, the 8th, the 15th, the 22nd and 29th. Yeah, okay. They'll just smile at you and say, no, you're contracted to work these days. Sorry about that, buddy. Yeah, here's the understanding of the new moons video. Okay. Saturday's the Sabbath, it's fake news. Yeah, we like these guys quite a lot, but they started getting into the flat earth thing. So we're going to look at that as well, because they're saying, we believe they're saying that God has said that it's not a globe. Well, they're going against what the scriptures say, right? That the earth is flat, it's not a globe. Yet, scriptures, especially in the original ancient Aramaic manuscripts, says it's a sphere, it's an orb, i.e. a globe. But we can understand if God's feet are upon the earth, well, you'd rather have a flat surface than a round one, wouldn't you? Yeah. Your feet aren't going to be too comfortable on a globe, eh? But we're looking at this documentary, Rocket Man. Yeah, it's really, really good. He wants people to donate or loan him $2 million so they could actually go up 62 miles up in the air or something, and look down and take footage of the Earth to verify it's actually a globe or it's indeed flat. We believe, yeah, the Earth is flat. It has some curvature, but there's that dome over it. You can actually see this curve, right? If you go and have a look, it's coming up and over you. Okay, it's a dome. Don't know if there's one underneath. You don't really believe that. It's just totally nothing underneath, like roots and all that sort of stuff, you know? Like it's all falling away, like a cliff, you know, when there's a flood and everything's falling away. Yeah, but there's a lot of good videos here. Okay. They're all saying that this is the Antichrist and all this sort of stuff, the mark of the beast, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's all what do you call it? Poppy. Very poppy. Yeah. So you can have a look at all of those. It's free to sign up, and then there's the Creator's Calendar again. Restoration of Yahuwah, that's what they call them. It's calendar. Sun, moon and stars appointed for timekeeping, most elegant and precise of all calendars. The biblical calendar is lunisolar. Modern solar calendar is a counterfeit, restoring the true seventh-day Sabbath. Okay. So your seventh day, if you read this one, according to them, is false. Yeah, because you're going by the Roman Catholic calendar. So take a look at those. And if you find this website really, really interesting, don't forget to subscribe to us. Give us a like for bringing it to you. And add your comments below the video, and we'll get back to you on those when we can. And share this video, this information, with all your family, friends and others, especially those who are in the Seventh-day Adventist Church who are being duped and told this is the Sabbath when it's supposedly a breach. It's false, because you're using the modern day Roman Catholic calendar. Yeah, there's a lot of things that they'll tell you that aren't originally in the Bible, right? Or they've translated it wrong. Yeah.